Today we are discussing about the carcinoma stomach. I said Dr. Badrinath Sharma. Stomach anatomy. Stomach is a J-shaped. Stomach has two surfaces, the anterior and posterior, two curvature, crater and laser curvature, two orifices, the cardiac and pylorus. It has fundus, body and pyloric antrum. Cardiac end attached connected to the esophagus and pyloric antrum connected to the duodenum via pyloric sphincter. Arterial supply of stomach. Arterial supply of stomach comes from the celiac arteries, which has branches left gastric arteries, which goes along the laser curvature to the esophageal and gastric junction. Right gastric artery, which is a branch of common hepatic artery. Right gastroepiploic artery, which is a branch of SMA artery. Right gastric artery goes suprapyloric region of the stomach along the laser curvature. Left gastroepiploic artery comes from the splenic artery, which is a branch of splenic artery, which goes on the greater curvature near the fundus. Right gastroepiploic artery comes from the SMA artery, which supplies the infrapyloric region at the greater curvature of the stomach. Short gastric artery are the branches of the splenic artery or left gastroepiploic artery. Venous drainage, it's tend to parallel the arterial supply. The left gastric coronary artery and right gastric veins usually drain into the portal vein. The right gastroepiploic vein drain into the superior mesenteric vein, and left gastroepiploic vein drain into the splenic veins. Lymphatic drainage. Gastric lymphatic drainage occur through the three echelons. The first one echelon near the perigastric region. These are the nodes within 3 cm from the primary tumor and are station 1 to 6. The first station is right pericardic region. Second one is the left pericardic region. Third one is nodes along the laser curvature. Fourth nodes along the greater curvature. Suprapyloric nodes is the fifth one. And sixth one is the infrapyloric nodes. The second echelon, second tier nodes. These are nodes in the main and intermediate artery trunk stations, which is 7 to 11. These nodes are found along the arteries of the stomach. The 7-1 is the left gastric artery, along the left gastric artery. 8th node is along the common hepatic artery. 9-1 is along the celiac axis. The 10 is splenic hilum. 11 is splenic artery. These are the diagrams which is showing the lymph node stations at the near the stomach. The third diet nodes at station 12 to 18, which is known as periaortic above. The 12th region nodes is present along the hepatoduodenal ligament. 13 along the retroduodenal lymph nodes. 14 at the root of mesentery. 15 the middle colic artery, and 16 periaortic nodes. Around lower esophagus is the 17th one, and 18th one is the supradiaphragmatic. Stomach innervations. Stomach is innervated by the vagus nerve, which is the parasympathetic innervation. The sympathetic innervation comes from the greater splenic nerves by the T5 to T9. Parasympathetic by vagus nerves, which secretes the pepsins and gastric acids. Microscopic anatomy. The epithelium has many types of cells, which are the secretory epithelial cells cover the surface of the stomach. Mucous cells secrete an alkaline mucus that protects the epithelium against shear stress and acids. Parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid and intrinsic factor of Castro. Chief cells which secrete pepsinogens, proteolytic enzymes. G cells secrete the hormone gastrin, which is present in the antrum. Enterochromaffin cells which secrete the histamine, which is related to the gastric acid secretions. D cell secretes somatostatin. This is the structure of the stomach wall. The first one, inner one, the surface epithelium. The second one is the lamina propria. The third one is muscularis mucosa. These three forms the mucosa, then submucosa, then muscularis propria, which has three muscles. The innermost is the oblique layer, middle one is the circular layer, and outermost is the longitudinal layer. And after the muscularis layer, there is the serosal layer. Introduction about the gastric carcinoma. It is approximately 95% of all gastric cancer are adenocarcinoma, so it is the most common primary malignant tumor. Second most common cause of death worldwide after lung carcinoma. The prognosis of gastric adenocarcinoma remains poor, except in a few countries where early screening is feasible, such as in Japan. Gastric cancer. Stomach cancer begins when the cancer cells form in the inner lining of your stomach. These cells can grow into a tumor, also called gastric cancer. The disease usually grows slowly over many years. The gastric cancer may be malignant or benign, or it may be primary or secondary. Secondary comes from the various other sites of malignancies. Risk factor associated with the gastric carcinoma. These are the acquired factor, which is in the acquired factor, the first one is the nutritional factor, which is the high salt, hard nitrate, low dietary vitamin A and C, diet high in smoked, pickled or salty food, lack of refrigeration, poor drinking water, such as well water, occupational working in coal, rubber and metal and timber industries, smoking, infection with H. pylori, Epstein-Barr virus infections, exposure to asbestos and radiation, prior gastric surgery for benign gastric ulcer diseases, prior treatment for maltoma, mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue, genetic factors which causes the gastric carcinoma is the type A blood group, pernicious anemia, family history without known genetic factor, hereditary diffuse gastric cancer, CDH1 mutation. It occurs due to the E-cadherin cell adhesion molecules deficiency. Familial gastric cancer, hereditary non-polyposis colon cancer, HNPCC or Lynch syndrome, familial adenomatous polyposis, Leigh-Ferroni syndrome, which occur due to the p53 mutation, BRCA1 and BRCA2 mutations. It also leads to the breast cancer. Precancerous lesion which causes gastric carcinoma is the adenomatous gastric polyps, chronic atrophic gastritis, dysplasia, intestinal metaplasia, Meniere's disease. Ethnicity in the USA, gastric cancer is more common among Asian Icelanders and Africans and Hispanics, and obesity. Sign and symptom of gastric carcinoma: early gastric carcinoma, asymptomatic or silent in 80% cases, peptic ulcer symptoms 10%, nausea vomiting 8%, and in advanced gastric carcinoma, weight loss 60%, abdominal pain 50%. In the sign and symptom, the most common is the weight loss and abdominal pain. Special signs such as which is associated with the Lintus plastica. It is the diffuse infiltrating with a rigid stomach, Virchow's node, left supraclavicular lymph nodes, cystal Mary-Joseph nodules, which is present in the umbilical lymph nodes, pre-rectal pouch mass, a pouch of Douglas mass. These are known as the Bloomer cell. It is the seeding metastasis in the pouch of Douglas. Drop metastasis to the ovaries, known as Krukenberg tumors, Irish nodes present in the left axilla. This diagram showing the cystal Mary-Joseph nodules present around the umbilicus, and above is the scar operative site. Lintus plastica. It is a diffuse type gastric cancer. Tumor often infiltrates the cell mucosa and muscularis mucosa propria. Superficial biopsies may be falsely negative. Combination of strip and bite biopsy needed if suspicious for Lintus plastica. It means the biopsy taken is the whole thickness of the stomach. These are the left supraclavicular lymph nodes, which is also known as Virchow's node, and it is a diagram of the lentus plastica. Complications of gastric carcinoma: it can go into the peritoneum and pleural and causes peritoneal pleural effusions or ascites. Obstruction: it may cause obstruction of the gastric outlet or small bowel. It may cause bleeding. It may cause intrahepatic jaundice by hepatomegaly. Histopathological and morphological classification. There are various classifications for the stomach malignancy, in which the histopathological and morphological classification are the Borman's classification is as 5 types, which is a morphological classification for the advanced malignancies. Brodach's classifications, it includes type 1 well differentiated to type 4 anaplastic, and the most widely used classification is Lawrence classification. In the Borman's classification, type 1 is the polypoid growth, type 2 is the fungating growth, type 3 ulcerative growth, type 4 diffusely infiltrating, just like lentus plastica, type 5 unclassified growth. Lawrence classification, Lawrence classified the gastric carcinoma into 2 types, intestinal type and diffuse type. Intestinal type has environmental exposures. Intestinal type occurs due to environmental exposures, while diffuse due to familial causes. Intestinal type causes gastric atrophy occur due to the gastric atrophy or intestinal metaplasia. Diffuse type occur most commonly in the blood type A. Intestinal type common in men, while diffuse common in the women's. Increasing incidence with age in intestinal type or younger age group in diffuse. Gland formation occur in intestinal type, while in diffuse form poorly differentiated signature cells are present. Intestinal type has hematogenous split, while diffuse has transmural or lymphatic split. Intestinal type microsatellite instability, APC gene mutations, and diffuse type decreased EEC adherin. It is the cell adhesion molecules which is absent in the diffuse type, so that cells arrange haphazardly and goes diffusely into the stomach to involve all segment of the stomach. In intestinal type, P53 and P16 inactivations occur. In diffuse type also P53 and P16 inactivation occur. Intestinal type has differentiated type of cancer, diffuse has undifferentiated type of cancer. WHO histological classification of gastric tumors. The first one is the adenocarcinoma, which is the most common. It has many types by the character of growth, which is papillary type. It may be tubular type, it may be mucinous, and it may be signature cell carcinoma and mixed type. The second one is the adenosquamous carcinoma, third one is the squamous cell carcinoma, fourth one undifferentiated, fifth one is unclassified carcinoma. On the basis of location, the stomach cancer by the percentage, stomach cancer percentage found in the various segments is in pylorus, the most common area where the stomach cancer is found. Then laser curvature, sec, then fundus and body, and then cardia, and last one and least common at the crater curvature. Gastric cancer occurs due to the various changes which is mentioned as this, such as first of all, stomach goes into the chronic gastritis phase. This chronic gastritis phase continuously after adds to various risk factors. Chronic gastritis goes into the chronic atrophic gastritis. Chronic atrophic gastritis lead to the intestinal metaplasia. Intestinal metaplasia go into the dysplasia, and dysplasia causes the adenocarcinoma. Investigation and staging workups. First of all, we will do the routine blood examination. In routine blood examination, we may find low hemoglobin level and high ESR level. The second one is the stool examination for occult blood. Gastric function test will reveal gross hypoechlorhydria, such as in pernicious anemia, echlorhydria, hypochlorhydria present. Ultrasonography useful for the ascites. It assesses thickening of gastric wall. It assesses local invasion and it assesses peritoneal involvement. Then the next one is the barium studies, which leads to the irregular growth in the stomach. And after the barium studies, axial imaging, CT or MRI. CT evaluate for metastasis, M stage, and BC in 20 to 30% peritoneal metastasis with negative CT as intraperitoneal disease at laparotomy. Accuracy of 50 to 70% for T stage. Slightly worse accuracy for N stage compared to the EOS. MRI, it is good for only liver metastasis. The next one stage is the next one is the investigation is the endoscopy, esophagogastrocolonoscopy with biopsy. Endoscopy is the gold standard investigation of choice or gold standard for the gastric carcinoma because it can see the anatomical locations in the stomach. It can also be the type of growth. It can say by the help of endoscopy we can see the type of growth such as it is papillary type or tubular type, machinist type, or signature cell type, linctus plastica type. And we can take biopsy by the endoscopy. Various other types used in diagnosis for early stages of gastric carcinoma such as chrome endoscopy, in which we use the dye, magnification endoscopy, narrowband imaging, which we use the infrared for narrowband imaging, confocal laser and microscopy, endoscopic ultrasound. With the help of endoscopy we can go through the endoscopic ultrasound, most reliable non-surgical method to evaluate depth of invasion, T stage, and more accurate than CT. It is more accurate than CT for T stage, 65 to 90% accurate for N stage. Used for preoperative staging and selection of patients for neoadjuvant therapy. It is the diagram of the EUS. Various layers of the stomach is present by the alternative dark and dark echoic, hyperechoic, hypoechoic. Glucose and the endoscopic ultrasound interface always show the hyperechoic. Then the skeletal muscles shows the hyperdense lesion or hyperechoic lesion, while smooth muscles showing the hypoechoic region, hyperechoic region. Then next one is the PET scan. It is more sensitive than CT for detection of distance metastasis, also useful for detecting lymph nodes. Negative PET not helpful. Even large tumor can be false negative. Metabolic activity is low if they are not 18 fluoroglucose, 18F fluorodeoxyglucose. Most diffuse gastric cancer signet ring are not FDG avid. PET may be an effective modality for monitoring response to chemotherapies, sparing unresponsive patients for the toxic treatment. Serological markers CA, CA125 and CA19-9 and CA72-4 may be elevated but have low sensitivity and specificity. None are diagnostic. Preoperative evaluation in markers usually pretend high risk of adverse outcome. No serological findings should exclude surgical consideration. The preoperative serum level of CA72-4 has the best predictive value in indicating advanced disease in patients diagnosed with gastric carcinoma. After that, we go through the staging laparoscopy and peritoneal cytology. It is used when CT cannot consistently identify the peritoneal mats or other small mats which are less than 5 mm in size. The rate of detection of CT occult M1 disease by laparoscopy depends on the quality of CT scanning and interpretation. M1 DG is the distance metastasis. Laparoscopic ultrasound and extended laparoscopy are the techniques that may increase the diagnostic field of laparoscopy. This is the TNM classification. We have to remember that in T2 there is muscularis propria involvement in all GIT. The T2 is the tumor invades muscularis propria. TNM classification gastric carcinoma. There are 4 type of T stage, which is the tumor, primary tumor, which is present in the gastric region. The regional nodes, it is the N staging. In the N1 stage 1 to 2 lymph node, in N2 3 to 6 lymph nodes involvement, and in N3 7 or more. N3 is further divided into 2 types, N3A in which 7 to 15 lymph nodes, and in N3B there is more than 16 lymph nodes. In the distance metastasis M stage, there M0 is no distance metastasis, and in M1 there is distance metastasis. It is a Japanese staging system. It is done for early gastric carcinoma. The type first is the protruder type, and the type second A is the superficial and illimited type. The type second B is the flat type, and type third second C is superficial and depressed type, and the third one is the excavated type. Sievert's classified GEJ malignancy, gastroesophageal junction malignancy. Sievert's classified the gastroesophageal junction malignancy into 3 types. Sievert's type first, adenocarcinoma of the lower esophagus with the center located within 1 cm to 5 cm above the anatomical EGJ. Sievert type second, carcinoma of the cardia with the tumor center within the 1 cm above and 2 cm below the EGJ. The esophagogastric junction. EGJ is the esophagogastric junction. Sievert type third is the subcardial carcinoma with the tumor center between 2 and 5 cm below the EGJ, which infiltrated the EGJ and lower esophagus from below. The type second and type third is included in the gastric carcinoma, while type Sievert type first included in the esophageal malignancies. Treatment of localized disease. In the stage first disease, which is also known as early gastric carcinoma, early gastric cancer, it includes 3 treatment options. First one is the endoscopic gastric sparing resection, which is also known as EMR and ESD. EMR is endoscopic mucosal resection, and ESD is the endoscopic submucosal resection. It is limited to patients with tumor less than 2 cm in size that are node negative and confined to the mucosa of EUS in the absence of other gastric lesions. It is mainly a carcinoma in situ, a carcinoma not infiltrating the lamina propria. It is the diagram showing the EMR, endoscopic mucosal resection, in which we infuse a gel fusion to elevate the polyp. Then a snare is used for the resection and polyp is removed. In ESD, we go through the submucosal to resect by help of cautery or laser. And the second one is the limited surgical resection. It is an alternative of gastrectomy. When we can do the gastrectomy, then we go for the limited surgical resection, in which it is used in the small less than 3 cm intramucosal tumors or non-ulcerated intramucosal tumor of any size, but not infiltrating the muscularis propria or muscularis mucosa. The third one is the gastrectomy with D1 lymph node dissection in high risk cases. It is always done in high risk cases of early gastric carcinoma. The second stage or third stage, we will go for the surgery, then lymphadenectomy and or adjuvant chemotherapy. In the second or third stage, the treatment of choice is surgery. Then we go for lymphadenectomy, and after that we can go for adjuvant chemotherapy. Adjuvant chemotherapy may be used or may not be used in the surgery. Surgical resection is the only curative treatment of gastric carcinoma, except patients who cannot tolerate abdominal operation and patients with overwhelming metastasis disease. The goal of curative surgical treatment is resection of all tumors. Thus, all margins, proximal, distal, and radial margins, should be negative and adequate lymphadenectomy performed. Generally, a gross negative margin of at least 5 cm is required. Some gastric tumor, diffuse variety, are quite infiltrative and tumor cells can extend well beyond the tumor masses. Thus, gross margins beyond 5 cm away is desirable. More than 15 resected lymph nodes are required for adequate staging. The primary tumor may be resected and blocked with adjoint involved organs, such as distal pancreas, transverse colon, or spleen, during the course of curative gastrectomy. Extent of gastrectomy. The standard operation for gastric cancer is radical subtotal gastrectomy. Subtotal gastrectomy resection includes ligation of the left and right gastric and gastrophilic arteries at the origin, as well as en-bloc removal of distal 75% of stomach, including the pylorus and 2 cm of duodenum, the greater and lesser omentum, and all associated lymphatic tissue in the perigastric region. Reconstruction is usually by Billroth-Sekin gastrojejunostomy, but if a small gastric remnant is left, in less than 20% cases, a Roux-en-Y reconstruction is considered. In the absence of involvement by direct extension, the spleen and pancreatic tail are not removed. For proximal lesions of fundus or cardia, a total gastrectomy with a Roux-en-Y esophagojejunostomy or proximal gastrectomy is equivalent for an oncological perspective. The residual tumor classification. It is done for the primary tumors. Where we have no demonstrable residual tumor, macroscopically or microscopically, then it is known as R0 resection. When it is microscopically demonstrable but macroscopically not demonstrable, it is a R1 resection, and the R2 resection is macroscopically and microscopically visible tumor. R0 resection is the curative. The R1 resection is residual margin. It has residual margins after R1 resection. After R1 resection, there is residual margins present. In R2 resection, macroscopically residual margins present. Extent of lymphadenectomy. Generally, these are grouped into level D1. In D1, we have to remove the lymph nodes from the station 1 to station 6. In level D2, from station 7 to 12, and in level D3 the stations 12 or 18, 12 to 18 nodes, and a D4 stage or D4 level is also present, in which we have to remove the para-aortic lesions from the diaphragm, from the esophageal hiatus to the bifurcation of aorta. Generally, D1 nodes are perigastric, D2 nodes are along the hepatic and splenic arteries, and D3 nodes are the most distant lymph nodes. The standard operation for gastric cancer is the D2 gastrectomy, which involves a more extensive lymphadenectomy, removal of D1 and D2 nodes. In D2 gastrectomy, in addition to D1 resection, the peritoneal layer over the anterior mesocolon, selectively over the pancreas, nodes along the hepatic splenic artery, and the crural nodes are removed. Splenectomy and distal pancreatectomy are not routinely performed because it increases the morbidity of the operation of the D2 gastrectomy. But we go for splenectomy or distal pancreatectomy if there is involvement of spleen or pancreas. If there is proximal fundus tumor are present which infiltrating the spleen or pancreatic tail, then we go for splenectomy and distal pancreatectomy. It is the treatment algorithm. When adenocarcinoma, we will go for staging by CT endoscopy or with EUS. When metastatic disease is present and it is symptomatic, such as when bleeding and obstruction is present, then consider for palliative resection. We go for palliative resection to come over the obstruction or to stop the bleeding. And if metastatic disease is asymptomatic, refer to medical oncologist for chemotherapy or radiotherapy for further management. If there is no metastatic disease, then we will go for laparoscopy and we will find If we find no metastatic disease, then we will go for resection with nodal harvest. And if we found a metastatic disease, then we go for the first one division of the metastatic disease algorithm. Treatment of advanced disease. It includes stage 4 disease, which is the distant metastasis, in which we will go for the palliative systemic chemotherapy. But if there is liver metastasis or lung metastasis, then we will go for surgery such as liver resection, lung resection, or multivessel resection of gastric cancer. Here we will go for HIPEC. It is the hyperthermic infusion of peritoneum by chemotherapy. To maintain lumen patency, endoscopic laser treatment or stenting for palliation, and palliative gastrectomy such as in the bleeding and obstruction. Pharmacotherapy is splitting and epirubicin plus infusion of 5-fluorouracil or irinotecan. Complete remissions are uncommon, but partial responses in 30 to 50% of cases are transient. Overall influence on survival has been unclear. Adjuvant chemotherapy alone following complete resection has only minimally improved survival. So in gastric carcinoma, when we are going to adjuvant chemotherapy, first of all we will go to neoadjuvant chemotherapy to strengthen or reduce the size of primary tumor and lymph node size, so that perioperative treatment, neoadjuvant and postoperative adjuvant treatment is given to reduce the recurrence rate and prolong survival. And in patient of gastric carcinoma, we will go for the supportive treatment also, such as for nutrition. For nutrition, if there is gastric outlet obstruction, we will go for jejunal enteral feeding by the feeding jejunostomy or total parenteral nutrition. We will correct the metabolic abnormality that arises from the vomiting or diarrhea. Treatment of infection from aspiration or spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. It is all over about the gastric carcinoma. Thank you.